Hi, I'm Tony Northrup, and for Chapter 4 of my book, Stunning Digital Photography, I'm going to show you how to take handheld pictures in low light. First, I'll take a picture of Chelsea here using my camera's default settings. Now, as you could hear, that was a slow shutter speed. That was about 1.5 seconds, and that gave me a shaky picture. That's a phenomenon known as camera shake. Anytime you take a picture that breaks the reciprocal rule, it's going to be shaky. To figure out whether you're breaking the reciprocal rule or not, look at your current focal length. I'm currently at 70. You can see it's marked on the lens. That means I need to shoot at 1/70th of a second or faster. 1.5 seconds is much slower than 1/70th of a second, so it ended up blurry. There are 4 things you can do to fix that without changing any camera settings at all. The first is just to put your camera on a tripod, but I personally don't like tripods, and if you were in a bar, you probably wouldn't have a tripod with you. The second is that you can use better hand-holding techniques. You can do things like bracing your elbow against your body or leaning against the wall. These help stabilize your body and the camera, reducing camera shake. The third thing you can do is to turn on your lens's image stabilization. So I'll turn on image stabilization, I'll brace my elbow against my body, and I'll lean against the wall. We'll see if the picture turns out any better. Well, the more pictures you take, the better they're going to turn out, but sometimes it's just too dark to do it without changing any camera settings. The exposure square shows you the types of camera settings that you can make to increase your shutter speed. As you can see from this diagram, when we pull the shutter speed in towards the center, we need to pull one of the other 3 corners out. That means we can do one of 3 things. We can use a lower f-stop number that opens up your aperture, allowing more light in. So my camera was at f5.6, I'll set it to f2.8. Not all lenses will support such a low f-stop number. The other 2 corners are light and ISO. You can add more light simply by turning on the lights in the room. You can also turn on your camera's flash. To up the ISO, you sacrifice noise a little bit. As you increase the ISO, the picture is going to get a little noisier. So I've dropped my aperture down to f2.8. I'll also bump my ISO up from 100 all the way to 800. And let's take another picture and see how that turns out. Decreasing my f-stop number and increasing my ISO gave me a much faster shutter speed. I was at 1/15th of a second, which, thanks to image stabilization, was fast enough to get a clear shot. Now, it's still not within the bounds of the reciprocal rule, which said I needed to be at 1/70th of a second or faster. This particular lens advertises that it helps out up to 4 stops with your hand holding, based on the reciprocal rule. So 1 stop off of 1/70th of a second would be 1/35th of a second. 2 stops would be about 1/15th of a second. If this lens works as advertised, I would actually be able to shoot at about 1/4 of a second handheld and get pretty clear shots. So now that we've shown how to take good shots in low light, let's move over to the pool table and we'll have Chelsea break the balls so that we can capture some motion even when we're handheld. So I want to capture Chelsea breaking these balls, and I actually want to be able to capture the movement of the cue ball and the balls breaking. That means I actually need to use a slow shutter speed. Flash would ruin it. Now, normally you'd want to use a tripod anytime you want to capture motion. If you're in a pool hall, you might not have that as an option though. So I will show you how you can stabilize the camera as much as possible and still capture motion in a dim environment. So as before, I'm going to use image stabilization. I'm going to crouch down. The lower you can get, the more stable you're going to be. I'm going to go ahead and use the pool table itself to stabilize myself. Getting the shutter speed just right always requires some trial and error. So now I'll demonstrate how to take a shot in low light if you can't brace against something. I'm going to use my body as much as possible. You can see I'm on the ground. Additionally, I'm going to put my elbow right against my chest and lean back against my heels. This makes my body as stable as it can possibly be. So the best shot was at 1/6 of a second. That's normally way too slow to handhold a shot at 70 millimeters. However, a combination of image stabilization and good handholding technique allowed me to get a nice clear picture that still captured the motion. This was for Chapter 4 in my book, Stunning Digital Photography, which is available on Amazon now. If you get the ebook, you'll get videos like this, including videos that aren't available on YouTube, and it's only a few dollars. If you want the print book, it's about $20. If you like this video, click subscribe up above to see more, and click like down below. Thank you.